Commander Vex of the Galactic Union watched in stunned silence as the human diplomat approached the negotiation table. The human, named James, walked with a casual confidence that bordered on madness given the circumstances. Behind Vex stood 12 elite craft warriors, each standing over 8 feet tall with reinforced exoskeletons and neural-linked plasma weapons. The warriors represented the military might of 7 allied species, all united against the expansion of humanity. Yet James came alone. Is this some form of insult? Vex hissed through his respiratory slits. Where is your security detail? James smiled, setting his simple briefcase on the table. I am the security detail. A ripple of clicking mandibles and nervous tentacle twitches spread through the alien delegation. The human wasn't even wearing combat armor, just a simple blue outfit they called a suit, with a colorful strip of fabric dangling from his neck. Explain yourself, demanded Vex. Your species emerged from a Class 9 death world. Our intelligence suggests humans never travel without extensive protection protocols. James shrugged. This is a diplomatic meeting. On Earth, diplomats often meet without weapons. We consider it a sign of trust. The craft warriors shifted uncomfortably. One of them, Lieutenant Mock, leaned down to whisper to Vex, it must be a trap. Scan for concealed weapons or reinforcements. The scans revealed nothing. No weapons, no hidden technology beyond a simple communication device, no reinforcements waiting in orbit. Just one human sitting calmly across from 14 heavily armed representatives of the most powerful military alliance in the known galaxy. Let us proceed, James said, opening his briefcase to reveal only papers and a writing implement. Vex struggled to comprehend the situation. Humans came from a world where the atmospheric pressure alone would crush most sentient species, where the radiation levels were considered sterilizing, where the gravity would snap the limbs of most Galactic Union members. They evolved alongside apex predators, survived poisonous vegetation, and endured weather events that could level cities. Their historical records showed constant warfare against each other, suggesting a species so violent that their idea of peace still included preparing for battle. Yet here sat James, apparently unarmed, proposing trade routes through contested space. The Union cannot allow human expansion into the Orion sector, Vex stated firmly. Your species reproduces too quickly and consumes too many resources. Your presence destabilizes established territories. James nodded thoughtfully. I understand your concerns. That's why I've brought an alternative proposal that would benefit both parties. May I offer refreshments while we discuss? Before Vex could respond, James pulled out a small container from his briefcase. The craft warriors immediately raised their weapons, energy fields humming to life. James froze, then slowly opened the container to reveal small brown discs. It's just cookies, chocolate chip. We typically share food during negotiations on Earth. It helps create a friendly atmosphere. Poison, shouted Mock, advancing with his weapon aimed at James's head. Not poison, James said calmly, though I should mention chocolate contains theobromine, which is toxic to some species. That's why I brought these alternative ones made with honey instead. He produced a second container. Vex's scientific curiosity momentarily overcame his suspicion. You brought potentially lethal substances to a peace negotiation. Well, they're lethal to some Earth animals like dogs, but most sentient species can process them fine. I researched your biology before coming. James smiled again. On Earth, offering to share food is one of our oldest peace rituals, dating back to when we were still fighting each other with sharpened metal. Aliens exchanged nervous glances. This human was acknowledging bringing toxic materials while simultaneously framing it as a peace offering. The cognitive dissonance was overwhelming. We will not consume anything, Vex declared. That's fine, James replied, taking a cookie and eating it himself. Now, about the Orion sector. We propose a joint development initiative rather than exclusive control. As negotiations progressed, the craft warriors remained on high alert, weapons ready. James continued to demonstrate what he called basic diplomatic courtesy, maintaining eye contact, listening without interruption, offering concessions, and suggesting compromise. 3 hours later, Vex found himself inexplicably agreeing to a resource-sharing arrangement that somehow favored both parties. The human had no weapons, no threats, and had never raised his voice. He had simply talked. When the meeting concluded, James extended his hand across the table, another human custom called a handshake. "This requires me to place my appendage within striking distance of yours," Vex observed warily. "Exactly," James replied. "It originated as a way to show you weren't holding a weapon. By clasping hands, neither party could suddenly draw an attack. Now it's just how we seal agreements." Lieutenant Mock interjected. "Your diplomatic protocols evolved from combat safety measures." "Most of them, yes," James admitted, maintaining eye contact to watch for deception, keeping hands visible, sharing food to prove it's not poisoned, sitting together to demonstrate neither side is preparing to flee. A cold realization washed over Vex. Humans didn't separate diplomacy from warfare. They had transformed warfare into diplomacy. Their negotiation tactics had evolved from survival strategies on a planet where everything, including other humans, was trying to kill them. "We will accept your terms," Vex said, reluctantly extending a clawed appendage. As James departed, Mock approached Vex. "Commander, how did one unarmed human manage to secure such favorable terms?" Vex watched the humans shuttle depart. "Because, Lieutenant, we brought weapons to a psychological battle. The human brought cookies and walked away with half the Orion sector." The Krath warriors stood in silence, finally understanding why Death World species were so feared across the galaxy. It wasn't their strength or technology that made humans dangerous. It was that they had evolved past needing to display either.